Have you ever wondered what a truly optimized credit card portfolio looks like in the real world? I mean, not just a wallet full of random plastic, but a system, a finely tuned machine where every single card has a specific job. Well, today we're tearing down a 6-card setup that is nothing short of a masterclass in strategy. Let's get into it.
And that, right there, is the whole philosophy we're going to explore. See, the real magic isn't in one single supercard. It's about how these cards talk to each other, how they cover each other's weaknesses. It is all about teamwork.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the entire 6-card arsenal. Then, we'll dive deep into each part. The travel workhorse, the card for hacking monthly bonuses, the 1-2 punch for cashback, and the brilliant UPI play. And stick around, because at the end, we'll lay out the blueprint so you can think about your own setup.
All right, let's meet the portfolio. This setup comes from a user we're calling the Milestone Man, and for good reason. This whole arsenal is built not just to earn rewards on spending, but to strategically hit very specific targets and milestones for massive, outsized returns.
And here they are, the 6 key players in this squad. You've got the Axis Atlas for all the big travel spending. The Amex MRCC is there purely to game the monthly bonuses. Then there's a cashback duo for online shopping and food. And finally, a 2-card system to make sure even the smallest UPI payments are earning rewards. You see, every card has a mission.
So first up, let's talk about the heavy lifter of the group, the Axis Atlas. This card isn't for your daily coffee. No, this one is brought out for the biggest, most important expenses, specifically high-value travel spending. The goal? To unlock some seriously good long-term perks.
So how does the Atlas work? Well, the whole thing is built around its tier system. The best way to think about it is like leveling up in a video game. You start out at the silver level, spend enough, you hit gold, spend even more, you reach platinum, and each time you level up, you unlock way better benefits.
And the specific mission here is hitting that gold tier. To get there, you need to spend 7.5 lakhs in a single year. Now, that's a big number, but look at the payoff. Hitting that milestone unlocks 2,500 bonus miles right off the bat, plus a dozen domestic lounge visits for your future trips. That's a real, tangible reward.
And this is where the strategy just clicks. Our user has huge planned expenses coming up, a wedding and a honeymoon. So what do? They channel all of that massive spending onto this one card. This is going to catapult them straight to the gold tier, basically preloading their next year with incredible travel parks. It's just a brilliant, forward-thinking move. Okay, next card in the arsenal. This is the American Express Membership Rewards Credit Card, the MRCC. Now, this card's job is completely different. It's not about big brute force spending. It's all about finesse. It's about hacking the system every single month. You know, the funny thing about the MRCC is that its normal rewards rate, it's not that great. The real secret here is treating your monthly spending like a game. You have these little quests you need to complete. And if you do them, you don't just get a few points. You unlock a huge chest of bonus points.
So here's how you play the game every month. Quest 1. Make 4 separate transactions, each one over 1,500 rupees. Quest 2. Make sure your total monthly spend crosses 20,000 rupees. If you can check both those boxes, boom, you unlock over 2,000 bonus points. It turns your boring, routine expenses into a super high-yield game.
And this is where it gets really clever. Normally, you get 0 reward points for things like paying your utility bills or for fuel. So most people would say, why would I ever use this card for that? But our strategist thinks differently. They use those 0 reward spends just to hit their 4-transaction target, which in turn unlocks that massive bonus. They're literally turning worthless expenses into a gold mine of points. It's a genius move. Okay, so we've got the big travel spends covered and the monthly milestone game on lock. But what about just normal, everyday online shopping? For that, this arsenal deploys not 1, but 2 specialist cashback cards.
And take a look at how they've divided up the work. You've got the SBI Cashback card, which is your all-rounder. It gives you a flat 5% back on pretty much any online purchase, with a huge monthly cap. And then you have the HDFC Swiggy card, the hyper specialist. It gives you a crazy 10% back, but only on food and groceries through the Swiggy app.
So you might be asking, why have both? Well, that's the key. These cards don't compete, they work together. That 10% on the Swiggy card is unbeatable for food, but the monthly cap is kind of low. So you use the Swiggy card for every single food order until you max it out. For everything else online, Amazon, Flipkart, you name it, you use the SBI card to get 5% back. It's a system that guarantees you're getting the absolute best return on every single online purchase you make.
All right, so big purchases are covered.
Online shopping is covered. But what about all that little stuff? You know, the daily chai, the quick scan at the corner store. A huge chunk of our spending happens through QR codes now. And this is where the UPI strategy makes sure that even those tiny little spends are earning rewards.
Now, the tech that makes this whole thing possible is RuPay on UPI. I'm sure you've seen this. It lets you link a RuPay credit card directly to your UPI app like GPay or PhonePay. So when you're at a shop and you scan that QR code, you can choose to pay with your credit card instead of your bank account right from the app. It's an absolute game changer for earning rewards on all those small, everyday payments.
And this is really the final layer of this whole optimization plan. The BOB Eterna card is the primary weapon here. It's used for any UPI spend where it gives a higher reward rate. But for everything else, or if there's ever an issue, the ICICI Coral is there as the reliable backup. The goal is super simple. Absolutely every single QR code you scan should earn you something. No spend is left behind.
So we've taken apart all the individual pieces of this awesome machine. Now let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big ideas, the principles that hold this whole thing together, because this is the blueprint you can actually use for yourself.
It really comes down to 4 key things. First, every card needs a specific job. No freeloaders. Second, make sure they work together, that they have synergy. Third, don't just spend mindlessly. Focus on hitting those milestones to unlock the big bonuses. And finally, you've got to cover all your bases, from the massive expenses all the way down to the tiniest UPI scan.
Look, this setup is a masterclass because it's so perfectly tailored to one person's life and spending. And that really proves that the ultimate credit card portfolio is never a one-size-fits-all solution. So after seeing all this, it really makes you think, right? What will be in your perfect arsenal?